So what would you say to someone, I know we've kind of touched on it a little bit, but really just Kim's take-home message for someone who either A, hasn't gotten a regular checkup, or B, someone like yourself who is more than willing to put themselves on the line and advocate for a loved one? What would be your take-home message to them, just to go out and get help, or to anything, whatever you've got? I mean, this is your experience, and I don't think we could speak on what exactly to do. So how would you verbalize that?
Well, information is power. So why not most people have insurance, so use it. And why not get your well baby checkups, is what I call them. Have your well baby checkups, all of them, whatever is appropriate to your sexual being. If you're a man, I don't have a prostate, so I won't be needing that, but you do. So just information is power. Get as much information as you can. It is powerful. You will get the results that you're fine. And wow, isn't right there, that's a stress reliever, to get the results back from whatever that appointment was, to find out that you're super healthy. Or for me, I got my first full physical like a couple years ago. Again, I know that's hypocritical, but I did, and woohoo, everything was super great. They said that I just needed a bone density test, and I went, oh, well, with my back and all that, it's going to be horrible. But because of my diet and exercise and my laughter, my bone density was actually higher than 90% of women in my age category. So I'm telling you, I took that information and soared with it. So don't go to the doctor because you're afraid that you're going to find out that you're sick. Go to the doctor because you want to find out that you're super healthy. Don't look at it as the negative. Look at it as so many positive things you can get out of getting the information about how your body is working, because I can't look inside me. I don't know what is going on inside me unless I get an X-ray or an MRI or a blood test or a mammogram, all the appropriate tests for our body. We need it.
Yeah, it's difficult to overcome that mental barrier too, of distinguishing, I don't want to go to the doctor because something might be wrong, versus I want to make sure everything's okay. Those are two very different reasons to go. And if you're on either side mentally, it dictates if you're really going to go to the doctor or not. And I used to be the former, of just not wanting to find out anything bad. And then I went and got my physical, and I was like, it's good? Okay, great. That's what a relief to know.
Right?
It's a totally different mindset. So I still need to get mine, a little hypocritical too, but I'm younger. I've got it within the past year and a half. So, we're getting there, but, sorry, I'm losing my train of thought here.
Well, like I always had digestion problems as a kid. And so when I got my first colonoscopy, it was so archaic and painful and horrible, but it's not that way anymore. But I was only in my 20s and late 20s. And I've had 14 polyps removed over the years. But every single little thing that I could do, that my doctor that I trust in Tampa tells me that I can do to make it better, has given me a free and clear colonoscopy the last 2 times, which has never happened in 30, 40, almost 40 years.
Well, it sounds like the result of a proactive lifestyle. Yeah. But you mentioned your diet. You mentioned your diet and your lifestyle. What diet do you take on?
I haven't eaten meat since I was 18 years old, and that was just, I love animals, but I literally couldn't swallow meat. It was the most disgusting thing. I would beg my parents, like, what did I do wrong? Why are you making me do this? I thought it was such punishment. And so I'm A positive blood. I don't know if you've ever heard of the book Eating Right for Your Blood Type, but I didn't read that and discover it. I had already not eaten meat for 30 years at the time. And I read this book going, oh my God, my blood type is A positive, is my system reacts best with nuts and berries and grains. Whoop! That happens to be what I like to eat. And then I don't digest dairy, which is why I had all those colonoscopies, because no one ever said, hey, why don't you try letting go of cow milk, which does not ever go past my esophagus. So I gave up dairy, like, I don't know, 30 years ago or something. And I love vegetables, and I don't love water. That's my nemesis. But if I can just put something that looks purple in it, like just anything like berries, squeeze some berries or strawberries or watermelon into it, I'm like, okay, I can drink it now. I don't know what that's about. But other than not drinking enough water, I exercise 6 days a week, and I love walking, and I pretend I'm with my dad every time I walk the Bayshore, and I'm happy, and I love my family. I have 2 cats that are hysterical, and they keep me young and happy. I know that sounds crazy, but I totally mean that. And I'm an artist, so I get to make things. So this isn't just about diet, but it's how I spend my day. I eat right, I exercise, I laugh, I talk to friends, I try to help my friends, I make cool things, and I go to bed by 11:30 after watching something funny. I have to watch something funny because I have bad dreams. And I write letters, and I journal, and I meditate, and I do yoga. It's all part of my exercise. I guess I do a lot to stay healthy, huh?
It sounds like it.
I garden. I have a huge garden, and I'm a birder, and the garden's very important. There's just, I'm just this far from being that person starts talking to the little birds out there. That's not far from that at all, and that's okay. My husband started doing it, and he's much younger than I am. He's with the COVID shutdown, he's in love with the birds now. He notices things that he never saw before because he always was working really hard. So there's a lot to be joyful about. Stay joyful, and you'll fight the C word.
If it makes you feel any better, I kind of took up a little bit of gardening myself, and I definitely talked to my.
Yeah, my sister did too, and it's all she talks about now. So apparently it's contagious.
I'm a proud dog dad and a proud plant dad too.
Oh my God, I'm so proud of you, Patrick. We're eating out of the garden too, so
I haven't gotten any yields yet, but I'm ready. We're getting close.
Okay, we'll have to start sharing pictures.
For sure.
That's such good news.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on the show and sharing your experience with us. Hey, Kitty.
This is Penny Lane.
Penny Lane.
She has the biggest eyes. Hi.
So much for coming on the show.
Thank you.
And just sharing your message, because I guess like doctors and us and just people can preach and say go to the doctor and get checkups, and a story like yours, just an incredibly powerful experience that you're willing to share, I think could definitely open someone's eyes to saying, I need to take care of someone, or I need to go to the doctor myself. And I know that Stephen and I always say, like, men's health is not just a man's issue. And I mean, you could say the same thing for women's health, but this is a men's health podcast, so we're talking about men. But
no, I agree with you.
But we see, women are a lot more free about talking about going to the doctor. I mean, I have friends that are like, oh, went and got a mammogram the other day, and they just freely talk about it. And, you know, getting guys to talk about going to get a prostate exam or anything is just like, it's almost impossible, really.
Yeah.
And
We have
just,
Katie Couric to thank for her husband getting colon cancer, and she was the first to have a live colonoscopy, and that saved so many lives. So you're doing that too.
Yeah, I think there have been just a lot of women in general who have stepped out onto the forefront and said the things that you're not supposed to say on TV. And I think we use Betty Ford was an example. She was, from what I understand, the first woman to come on TV and say breast, which is a huge deal at the time. And everyone was like, oh, she said breast, like, what's going on? And you know, hopefully Steven and I can be the first people to say, you know, maybe prostate on live TV. That would be cool.
Say it now.
That is his ultimate goal with this whole thing, is to just say prostate on TV. It's any we have about any vision for the channel, he's like, I just want to say prostate on the TV.
I don't get what it is. I told Bill, what is the deal? Why? And he goes, I don't know. Again, my husband, who thinks that it's right to go have checkups for all parts of the body. So I asked the wrong person. He's like, I don't know. There's nothing wrong with it, you know, but there must be, because men don't want to go get that test.
I think there's a part of it is the machismo component, that they don't want to get touched or, you know, something, you know, I don't really know. I couldn't, you know, put my finger on it exactly, but
That was good. He's been waiting to say that. He's gonna act like that wasn't at all.
But it's just it's so different just talking to women about their health. I mean, I don't even have to ask, and I hear about what my friends that are girls are doing. You know, what visits they're going to. Maybe part of it is being a pharmacy student, and I know Steven probably noticed too, you get family and friends asking you all kinds of questions.
Yeah.
But it's so interesting to see how different it is for on the women's health side versus the men's health side. And that's really just what we want to do, is make guys and even their families. I mean, we've noticed that people's family members, like, they don't want to say the word prostate either, and so stigmatized that it's really time for a change. And, you know, we want to be the spearhead that changes that.
Well, I'm really happy to hear that, and we need you to do that, clearly. Save lives. Save lives. That's pretty important.
That's the goal.
That's the mission. Well, Kim, we appreciate having you on the show, telling your personal stories, something that was so, you know, just powerful for you to talk about and relive some of these memories. And as you even say, you know, bringing up something that you may have forgotten in the past. We just appreciate that personal, sincere connection. And as we all three can agree here, is that one message to one viewer, you know, makes it all worth it. And so we are so appreciative, so grateful to have you on the show. Everyone, this was Kim Burns Cummings. You can find her on Instagram at Kimberly Pottery and her website at kimberlypottery.com.
Thank you.
It was a joy having you on the show. We look forward to having you again, hopefully. Everyone, subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment, what does men's health mean to you? We're going to put a link to her channel, her pages, any of these programs that we find helpful for support systems. It was an absolute joy to have you. Thank you, Kim.
It was really a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Stay safe, both of you, please.
You too.
All right.
You too.
Good night.